What if I told you we have two lives and the second life starts the moment we realize we only have one life? In fact, what if I told you we get to identify our second life the moment we come into contact with other people? You see, a very wise artist called Brian Choker once wrote a poem explaining why people come into our lives. And in this wonderful poem, he described a number of ideas, including finding a sense of love and belongingness, but also understanding the essence of purpose. At the end, Mr. Brian came up with a very wonderful quote that says, "People come into our life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime." I find Mr. Brian's quote quite fascinating, not only because he recognized the presence of strangers, but it's also because he acknowledged that these strangers have an impact in our lives. You see, everything we do is all because of people. We get to become the best version of ourselves because of people that surround us. One good evening as I was strolling around the university campus, something clicked into my mind and I thought, what if only one person existed in this whole world? In fact, what if only one human being lived? How would life be like? Would we understand what loneliness meant? Would we be able to differentiate success and failures? In fact, would we be able to identify different human feelings of love and hate? It would be very, very difficult. And so that is why I get to understand Mr. Brian's quote, that for me to become the best version of myself and understand my purpose, I have to have people around me. You see, 5 years ago, in 2016, I was three things: devastated, lost, and a total failure. And this was after I dropped out of medical school due to tuition fees issues. 3 years later, I became three things: happy, inspiring, and confident. And this was when I got admission into the best university in Tanzania, and then got voted and became the Vice President of Students' Government, leading more than 30,000 students. It wasn't, thank you. It wasn't an easy process. And for me, this is what I call a second life. A life that I'm given to fulfill my fullest purpose. In order for me to identify my second life, it was all through a stranger called Mr. Edo. In fact, I met Mr. Edo in a bus in 2017 as I was going back to my home place in Mbeya. Apart from being my seatmate, Mr. Edo was also a very social person. He always had a way of talking to people with so much humor and optimism in him. Like any other passengers in the bus, we had a chit-chat conversation, and this is what he told me. He explained to me how his life has been fully blessed because of strangers. You see, right after his birth, Mr. Edo was thrown in a dumpster. It was the strangers who raised him and helped him and chose to raise him like their own. And as we're speaking today, Mr. Edo has a wife, 4 kids, and a career whereby he's helping children living in vulnerable situations. To be honest, I find Mr. Edo's story quite captivating because he not only found his second life, but he also understood his fullest potential through the strangers that he met. And that is why I get to understand something. You see, life gives us 100%, of which the 10% we cannot control, but the 90% we can control. It means we have power to rebuild, rebrand, and control our destinies. One of the best things that Mr. Edo has told me is that in order for you to do good, in order for you to experience the fullest potential of yourself, you have to do good and just acknowledge the people around you. And today, as I'm speaking, Mr. Edo is not a stranger to me, But Mr. Edo today is a mentor, a person that I look up to for advice and guidance. One of the best core values of my life right now is to live and help people with selfless love and kindness. Because in doing so, I'm not only changing the world, but I'm creating the next generation where our own kids and great-grandchildren will live in peace and harmony. And this is the big picture, a picture that we all dream of. And so today, as I'm living my life, I am helping other youth and adolescents solve their mental health cases through a digital platform. In fact, the software application system and the social networks. The major philosophy behind the application system is all about bringing in two strangers to unveil a bigger picture. A bigger picture, to me, is the second life that we are all given. A life that we get to become the best version of ourselves. And so, today, I choose love. Today, I choose helping over ego. Today, I choose to get to know my neighbor and just understand the perspective of life. Because I believe if change is to come, then it has to start with me. And that is what we call a bigger picture. Thank you very much.